Hello hunters, welcome back. Iceborne has always been my go-to comfort game, the one I love to dive into between the releases of big budget titles. It's especially perfect during the holiday season when I'm longing for something both fulfilling and sentimental. Every time I jump into the game, it feels like coming home. So I want to continue sharing the builds that have kept me hooked for thousands of hours. In this series, I'll walk you through builds you can use, starting from close to the end of the main story and progressing all the way to the most optimal endgame farming setups. Today, we will be covering the Charge Blade. First up is a budget build towards the end of the campaign, and before you have beaten Raging Brachydios. The go-to Charge Blade at this stage is the Melting Grasp from Acidic Levinus. This Charge Blade has very high raw and no element, so it will be effective against any monsters. You can also power it up more by using an elementless jewel, but it's not mandatory for a budget build. For the armor set, we will be using Brachydios Helm Alpha Plus on the helmet. This is mainly due to the armor skill Capacity Boost, which will give our weapon an additional file. This in a way, of course, translated to more DPS, so it's a mandatory skill for Charge Blade. On the chest, Damascus Mail Beta Plus gives 2 points of focus, and on the waist, Damascus Coil Beta Plus will give us another point of focus. 3 points of focus is, in my opinion, mandatory for Charge Blades. It dramatically improves the ease of use for this weapon. On the hands, I'm using Kaiser von Brace's Alpha Plus for the 2 points of weakness exploit, and on the legs, Rex Raw Greaves Alpha Plus brings weakness exploit to level 3. On the charm, we are using Artillery Charm level 3. This brings the artillery skill to max. It's especially important for the ultimate moveset for Charge Blades, Super Amped Elemental Discharge. Now, for the budget build, you won't need any rare decorations, but we should at least always have 3 levels of health boost. This is almost mandatory for any builds. I also recommend slotting in an Elementless Jewel. This works well with our weapon, which again doesn't have any element. On the other hand, if you are lucky enough to have good decorations, we can change our build slightly, use 3 pieces from Teostra, Kaiser Crown Beta Plus, Kaiser von Brace's Alpha Plus, and the Kaiser Coil Beta Plus. This will give us the set bonus, Teostra Technique, which prevents weapons from losing sharpness during critical hits. So the more we can hit weak points, the less we would need to sharpen our weapon. On the legs, I have chosen to use Garuga Greaves Beta Plus. This gives me 2 levels of Critical Eye to bring up the affinity. On the decorations, this is what you should aim for. Bring Critical Eye up to level 7 and Agitator to level 5. This gives a total of 100% affinity. 3 levels of Guard will make it easier to execute Guard points. Remember, Guard skill is only effective at level 1, level 3 or level 5. And this build will be enough for you to face off with Raging Brachydios. After killing Raging Brachydios, we can immediately replace the weapon with a Charge Blade from him, Light Break Charge Blade. This weapon is overall the best before Fatalis. It has very high raw and can inflict blast status effects. On the armor set, I kept the Damascus Mail Beta Plus on our chest. This is due to the 2 levels of focus skill from the armor, which will save us a lot of slots for decorations. Additionally, we want to use 4 pieces of Raging Brachy armor, Brachydium Helm Alpha Plus, Brachydium Braces Alpha Plus, Brachydium Folds Alpha Plus, and the Brachydium Graves Beta Plus. These 4 pieces will give us the set bonus that allows us to raise the level cap of Agitator all the way to level 7 and Artillery to level 5. Both will help to increase our DPS output. On the charm, use Razor Sharp Charm to reduce sharpness loss. This is to make up for the fact the weapon has small sharpness. Here is the budget decoration setup for this build. Again, 3 levels of health boost is a must. Additionally, slotting in a charger jewel for 3 levels of focus, and 1 magazine jewel for capacity boost. When you do get good decorations, swap out the Alpha helmet for the Beta version for more slots. And here are the skills you should be aiming for. Critical Eye at level 6 will give us 30% of affinity, in combination with 20% from Agitator and 50% from Weakness Exploit. We are again at 100% critical chance when hitting weak spots. Offensive Guard is also recommended if you want to push the damage higher. It can increase our attack power by up to 15% at level 3. From here, you should be ready to fight the final Black Dragon, Fatalis. But a few small tweaks in the Deco should help you to make this fight a bit easier. So here is my Anti-Fatalis build, Pre-Fatalis. All the armor piece choices are exactly the same. Instead, sacrificing the Critical Eye and Offensive Guard for Blight resistance to give us a bit more survivability. I also recommend getting Pathbreaker, as it makes it easier to break Fatalis' head, which will reduce his firepower. In addition, putting heavy artillery on the mantles will help to boost the damage of cannons and ballista, and getting Fatalis to topple much easier. Finally, once you have beaten the Black Dragon, claim the sweet final reward, the endgame build is truly shaping up. Replace the weapon with Black Fatalis Charger. This is the highest raw attack charge blade in this game. Unfortunately, it has a very low affinity, so augmenting it with affinity increase, in addition to the standard health regeneration, is recommended. We will be using 4 pieces of armor from Fatalis, Dragon Head Beta Plus, Dragon Hide Beta Plus, Dragon Claw Beta Plus, and Dragon Barbs Alpha Plus. This set will raise the level cap for all applicable skills and completely remove the need to run level 3 health boost from now on. For the legs, I chose Post-Fatalis Wrath Beta Plus from, of course, Post-Fatalis. It gives 2 additional critical boosts from the armor skills, which is one of the difficult skills to farm decos for. On the charm, use Challenger Charm to fill these agitator skills, and make sure to upgrade it all the way to level 5. On the decorations, there are few considerations. For SAED playstyle, we want to max out artillery. I also opt in for Divine Blessing for survivability. Alternatively, if you do want to have more guarding power, here is a variant version. You can ditch Offensive Guard for guard level 5. This will make sure you can comfortably guard almost all of the big attacks in the game. However, if you are a Savage Axe player, here is what you should go for. We no longer need artillery as we are mostly in Axe mode. Instead, bring up Handicraft to make it more comfortable to use. You can of course swap out the attack jewels as they are indeed very difficult to get. Changing them to Guard, Evade Window or Evade Extender will work nicely as well. Now finally, I want to show you the elemental build that could work for any element, and it truly shines with its high damage against monsters such as Elytrian. For this, we want to ideally use the elemental weapon from Post-Fatalis. These weapons can be further augmented with custom augmentation and bring the element damage even higher. Additionally, the weapon comes with critical element skill. Normally critical hits only work with raw damage, but this skill will allow our elemental damage to benefit from critical hits. We also want to get a full 5-piece set from Safijiva. Replace head, chest, gloves, coil and greaves from the Safi Beta set. This gives us the unique set bonus, Dragon Vein Awakening. This skill will add a 40% affinity and a 150 element boost. We take damage as we deal damage, but will recover health after a certain amount of attacks. So it's a high risk but higher reward set. And here are the deco setups. We will of course have to go back to health booster level 3. And you can swap out to any elemental attack jewels based on the type of element from your weapon. Considering the affinity boost from Safi set, we will get 100% affinity when attacking a monster's weak spots. There you have it. These are all builds you can progress through from late campaign until the end of time for Charge Blade in Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Let me know what other weapon builds you want to see, and you can also join my Discord below to connect with other hunters if you are looking for friends to play with. Now, I hope you'll find this video useful. Remember to leave a like and subscribe for more Monster Hunter content. Thanks for watching and see you next time.